Boys, I'm checking in from the Bahamas. I'm on a cruise and they tried to scam me. And I want to just briefly talk about a mentality that we need to have if we're going to be successful during this AI age, which is the idea of not taking no for an answer. So I'm probably going to go through a couple examples here today, but I want to just kind of share a quick story about what happened on the cruise line. I'm not going to say the name of the cruise line because overall things have been beautiful, but this kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So here goes. Before we get on the cruise, we purchased a refreshment package, which basically means that you're entitled to soda and specialty drinks, milkshakes, special coffees, things like that. So we paid for that beforehand, and it's not cheap. Get on the cruise ship, and they have these soda fountains set up all around the cruise ship, and you need to have a special cup that you put under the soda fountain, and that distributes the soda into your special cup, okay? So we get on and we're saying like, hey, where do we get the special cups? They say, hey, go to the bar, et cetera, et cetera. And my wife and I go to the bar. My wife walks over to claim our special cup with our refreshment package. And they tell her, you actually have to pay for that cup. But it's not a lot of money. It's like $5 or $10. And so they say, hey, you have to pay for the soda cup. Meanwhile, a friend of ours who we came with, they had already gotten theirs. They didn't pay anything, okay? So my wife comes up and she goes, hey, they said we had to pay for this special cup in order to get the drinks for the drink package that we paid for. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. We paid, $60 or something, $70 a person for this drink package, and now we got to pay for the cup in order to drink the drinks that we paid for. It didn't sit right with me. She's like, well, maybe I should just pay so we can move on. I said, no. We're not doing that. And I said, hold on a second. So I went up to guest service, and there was no line at this point, which was nice. I didn't want to have to wait in line. And I said, hey, my wife just told me that we need to pay for the drinks for our package. And I'm like, well, we already paid for this package. Here's my room information. Here's my key. We already paid for the drink package. So if you could just give me a couple cups, that would be great. And she goes, oh, let me bring up your account here. And she says, well, it looks like you booked after March 15th. The free cup only comes to those people after March 15th. I said, no, I don't think you understand. We paid for the drink package. But in order to get drinks for a drink package, it looks like we need these cups because there's these places all around. She says, well, no, because you booked after this time, that doesn't work that way. I said, well, and I explained it again. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. Let me ask you a question. Did we pay for the drink package? And she says, yes, you did. I said, okay, so I paid for the drink package, but I need to pay for the cups in order to drink the drinks in the drink package. And basically they're like, yeah, that's the way it works. What's up, people? I said, yeah, that's the way it works. You pay for the drinks and you pay for the cups. I said, that doesn't make sense to me at all. And so here's kind of where I kind of attack it this way. So I'm polite, but I'm not gonna be a pushover, right? I think most people are like, okay, fine, just take the $20 for the 2 cups and then I can move on. But I wasn't gonna take that. It's not right. So I just I made sure to clarify, explain, and I wanted to ask her to kind of repeat herself, because it sounds so crazy, this idea of you pay for the drinks and then you pay for the cups, right? It didn't sit right with me. So after she explained, I said, well, listen, here's the deal. I'm a guest, paid thousands of dollars to be on the cruise ship, already paid for the refreshment package, and now you're gonna nickel and dime me over a $10 cup? Because if that's what we're gonna do, I'll pay for it. But I'm gonna give you a 1-star review on Google. After the ship is over, I'm gonna give you a 0-star survey. I'm gonna send an email to corporate, and then I'm going to email and send a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. That's what I'm gonna do, all right? And it's not just about the money at this point, it's about the bait and switch. It's about me walking in expecting one thing, and then you telling me like, oh, well, it's actually gonna be an extra $10. And she's like, oh, okay, hold on, let me go speak to the manager. Manager comes back 2 minutes later and says, here's a couple cups, for future, they give you this whole thing like, well, for future reference, next time you gotta, book it before this date in order to get the discount. I'm like, whatever, I don't, there ain't no future reference, just give me the free cup, right? Even if it was for future reference, this strategy of not saying no, or of not saying yes, not accepting what they've told you, is pretty profound. And because the reality is, guys, whenever you're selling or dealing with a big organization, there's a cost to them either way. One cost is bad publicity, which is actually pretty harsh. I mean, in the marketing world, it takes about 10 5-star reviews to make up for one 1-star review. So the cost to them for a bad review online is pretty high. So like, how much is it worth for them to get a 1-star review? Is it really worth the $20 for the cups? Probably not. Is it really worth their ship to get a bad review? Probably not. Is it really worth the hassle of getting an email from corporate and all this stuff, right? It's a hassle for them. It doesn't look good for them. It gives the guest a bad experience. It's bad branding, all the above. Now, if the cups were $500, then they might have said, you know what, you're gonna have to pay the money, right? So kind of understanding what the cost is on both sides is important. And anyway, I just want to share this story because, again, the goal of this channel is to help guys like you and me be relevant, respected, and financially free during the AI age. And I think that this concept of knowing where to push when there's mush is important. Understanding your value in the marketplace, understanding your value as a man is important when situations like this arise. So anyway, not really an AI topic today, but there are going to be times in life where you're reaching out to a SaaS company, AI company, software company, making a return at Walmart, Target, wherever, where the company is first going to say, no, we're not going to do it for you. But when you dig your feet in and you use things like, well, okay, that's fine. I'll eat the $20, but I'm gonna complain here, and here, just on principle. Oftentimes they will give in and do the thing. So I hope at least this is helpful. I hope that this is something that you can actually put into practice in your real life. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but the chances are that at some point you're gonna get swept under the rug of some large organization, bait and switch, some sort of tactic like that. So don't forget your power, and don't just say yes. It's okay to push where there's mush. All right, boys, I'm gonna get back to the cruise. Have a great day. Peace.